you doing? Brian Turner here. Today we're going to talk about using the blues scale. In the past videos I've showed you how to play the blues scale in the key of E minor, and do little variations on it also in previous videos, but now we're going to just talk about how to use it. That seems to be the hardest thing, because once we learn the scales, it just seems like, oh, we're now just playing the scales. That's nice, but where do we go from here? So let's just talk about it for a second, and then I'll show you how to play a little blues riff. Make it, see if we can make it sound good. First of all, always when you're playing little riffs, or when you're trying to play lead, or make the scale sound good, think of it as in when you're talking to someone. You know, for example, when I'm talking to you right now, I'm not going, we're going to play some riffs on the blues scale. These blues scales are going to sound really good, and you're going to learn how to do it. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to learn how to do it really good. That sounds kind of weird. Well, that's the way we approach scales a lot when we're trying to play lead. We just kind of ramble on. Everything's just real steady. But always remember, when you're trying to play music, it's like a conversation. I stop, I pause, I say phrases, I have inflections, like I might be asking you a question, or how are you doing? You know, that's a question. Or I might say, I'm doing fine. You have inflections in your voice. You know, the way you talk, sometimes you can tell what somebody's trying to say. It's not so much the words, but it's the inflections in your voice. It's the same thing. It's the same thing when you're playing your lead. You want to carry on a conversation. There's a tradition in blues that's called the call and response. They say that started years ago during the days of slavery, when people would be working in the cotton fields, and to pass the tedious time, they would do what they call a cotton call and response. Like one smart person say, "Hey, we're going to pick that cotton," and the other guys say, "Yes, we're going to pick that cotton." So it was like they would just go back and forth. So you want to approach your playing like that too. For example, over the first riff we're going to do, I'm going to have a call and response. Back to the call, response, call, response. Okay, so think of it that way. Think that act like you're carrying on a conversation. That's the first thing I want to say about learning how to play lead. The next thing I want to say about it is, don't feel like you've got to use all the notes in the scale. I'll tell students to improvise, and they'll say, okay. I'll do something like that. I'll say, well, how about just 3 notes? Variations on just a couple of notes. So don't feel like you've got to play all the notes. Having said that, that's the points I want to. Now we're gonna do a little riff here and show you how to use the blues scale in E. The reason I do it in the key of E, because the key of E is a very guitar friendly key. Why is it a guitar friendly key? Because this note right here is E, 6th string open. It's E, and it's in the E scale, and it's in the E chord also. This note here is E, the 1st string. That's an E also. And then you have the 2nd string, B. The B is in the E scale, and it's all in the E minor blues scale. It's also in the E chord. So those 3 notes always work. So that's why you hear so many guys, they'll just be doing this. You just go down on the 6th string and up on the first 2. And then you'll hear things like, okay, so that's where we're headed with this. So now I'm going to do a little series of riffs. On this video, I'm going to do one, and then there'll be a follow-up of other ones also, and you'll see a link to those videos at the end of this one. First, I'm just going to take 3 notes. The 6th string open, twice, then the 3rd fret with my ring finger. And look what I'm doing. I'm going to bend. That's what they call a bend. I'm going to bend it a little bit. And then the 4th string, 2nd fret. So that's going to sound like this. Steady rhythm. When I'm telling students that, I tell them that over and over and over again. It's not all 4 notes are equal. They're quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. First thing I want you to do is nail that. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 6th string open twice. 3rd fret, bend it slightly. 4th string, 2nd fret. And use the same fingers I'm doing. We want to be consistent. Open, 3rd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret. So I just want you to get a steady rhythm. I'm going to do it slowly now, and I want you to learn it. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm doing all downstrokes on that. That's fine. Whenever you're doing quarter notes, all downstrokes are fine. Down, 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 down. 6th string, 4th string. Now let's talk about some things you can do to make it sound a little more interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to palm mute those first 2 notes. See, the edge of my hand is right there. Right there. There's the palm of your hand. It's kind of right there on the bridge, but it's just barely touching the 6th string only. See, it sounds muted. Just those first 2 notes is fine. Okay, so you do first thing you got to do, get that going in time. It's not. I can't tell you how many students I have come back doing that. Because they rush those, because they can play those notes too fast. They always do. It's always. And I'm thinking that doesn't sound good, but I don't want to say that. But that's what I'm thinking. Look, you've got to keep rhythm going. Steady beat. So that's the call, okay? That's 4 notes there. Now we're going to do the response. All I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the 6th string open. Now here's the first time we're going to do an upstroke. Upstroke on the first 2 strings. Now the good thing about that is if you accidentally hit 3 strings or you accidentally hit 1, it doesn't matter because all 3 of those notes are in the blues scale. So that can be kind of loosey-goosey. Just 6th string down, up on the bottom 2 strings, or 3. See? So you go down, up. And then I have the 2nd string 3rd fret with the 3rd finger. Let me repeat that. The 3rd finger, 2nd string 3rd fret, and then the 1st string open. Now there I'm going to go down, 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 but on this response, down, up, down, up. So let me do that response again. 6th string down, up on the first 2, 2nd string 3rd fret, 1st string open, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So I'm going to practice that response in time, quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to put those 2 together, the call and the response. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. It does not have to be fast to sound good. Let me repeat that. Always remember, it does not have to be fast to sound good. As a matter of fact, what I see students doing all the time is they try to play it fast in the beginning and they end up stumbling over themselves 100 times instead of just slowing it down and getting it right. Slow it down and get it right. If you'll do it slow first, then the speed will come as you practice it more. But always play slow first, because when you play it slow, the mistakes stand out. If you play it slow, you make sure you're doing it perfect. If you just keep trying to do it fast, you just skim over your mistakes over and over, and you just end up having a lot of mistakes. And so play it slowly like this. more of a moderate tempo. It doesn't need to be fast. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. That's the first little blues riff. So at the end of this video, you should see a link that'll take you to more. So I hope you enjoy. Goodbye.